scene, a place where men come together for one purpose, to fight.
When you fight with somebody, you see very deeply into them. It's like, this man I like.
When you fight, you feel alive.
It's an environment ruled by a code, and that code, to me, is love.
They call themselves the Dog Brothers, and for them, fighting is a way of life. Fight Club, no limits. Early on a Sunday morning in June, just outside Los Angeles, a few dozen men and women descend on a nondescript warehouse. Inside, a ritual is about to take place. Some have come to watch. A select few are here to participate. They are members of an unusual society called the Dog Brothers. They come together twice a year for an event called the Gathering of the Pack. This is the Crucible, where their skills as martial artists will be tested. Anyone is welcome to fight. But you must prove yourself in this arena to earn the title, Dog Brother.
I want to be able to fight. I want to be able to protect my family, protect myself, and protect my land, my property.
The fight is kind of a metaphor for life, you know. The fight is life. The fight is all that conflict, all that stuff that exists in your day-to-day world. You know, it's the opportunity to go out there and deal with that head on.
It takes you away from your day-to-day life, and it puts you almost in the realm of being a superhero, exercising these powers inside you that you normally don't get to use when you're pushing a pencil or commuting to work.
There is a vast diversity of fighters participating in a Gathering of the Pack. They span all age groups and come from all walks of life.
What do you do for a living? I put tires on cars.
Fireman!
I'm a union thug. Telephone man.
I'm a senior payroll administrator.
I'm a massage therapist. I'm a kid's karate instructor.
I'm a research scientist for a tech startup in Vancouver.
They have all come to fight, but each is here for their own personal reasons. For Dan Farley, a bartender and part-time writer, this will be his first stick fight at a Dog Brothers gathering. He has always been afraid of violence and believes that by fighting here today, he will be able to confront and overcome his fears.
I'm not really fighting somebody else. It's more like fighting myself, you know. Because when you're afraid to do something, it's kind of, you know, that hesitation and that, oh, maybe I don't want to do this, you know, it's scary.
Corey Davis is a 48-year-old husband and father.
Thinking too much about what you're doing.
3 years ago, he blew out a disc in his spine and needed to have 3 vertebrae in his neck fused with a titanium plate. This will be Corey's first stick fight since the injury and the final stage of his recovery.
I want to perform like I have been. Am I going to be able to return to that state? Do I still have that? Do I still have what it takes to stand in front of a guy? I don't know.
Cisco Tarouk is a 30-year-old EMT from Long Beach, California. He's been fighting at these gatherings for years. Remarkably, he hates to fight and dreads every gathering.
These gatherings for me aren't fun. I mean, the first 2, it was just to test myself, see if I had, you know, the cojones to do it, and I did. And it's just really getting harder and harder because I'm not a fighter.
Like I'm gonna throw up.
While Cisco doesn't fully understand why he is compelled to fight here, cultural anthropologist Dr. Ventura Perez thinks it may be the byproduct of a modern society that has created the image of a mythic hero.
We live in a world right now, particularly in the United States, where Western masculinity is defined by intense violence in all forms of media. So you almost have an archetypal hero, if you will, that is an individual who is defined by how well he can beat the bad guy up.
Psychologist Dr. Michael Addis feels that tests of masculinity, like the Gathering of the Pack, are a direct result of the culture we live in.
Men in our culture and our society are under constant pressure to prove their masculinity. And physical prowess and physical strength and the ability to dominate other people is one of the ultimate tests of masculinity. And it's not a comfortable one. It's one that young boys grow up fearing and many adult men fear. But at the same time, they feel the pressure to prove themselves.
Dog Brother co-founder Mark Denny has been staging these fights for almost 20 years. He sees his organization, the Dog Brothers, as a necessary reaction to the softening of modern masculinity.
In our culture, manliness, male energy, is under attack. Virtue consists in not having claws. We need to have a place where this side of male energy is celebrated, expressed, and grounded.
That place is a Dog Brothers gathering of the pack. It began in the 1980s when three martial arts students, Mark Crafty Dog Denny, Arlen Salty Dog Sandford, and Eric Top Dog Naus, got together in a forum without the rules and limitations of traditional martial arts tournaments.
In the 1980s, there was a lot of wonderful technical training, but people were not putting things to the test. We were the ones who wanted to make sure that our skills were real.
Eric and Mark had been training in Filipino stick fighting, but to see if their skills would translate in a real fight where there were no rules, they agreed to take their sparring to a new level.
What you really got to do is be able to move around and swing hard enough so that the other guy knows he will get hurt if he gets hit.
Angry people with bad intentions can often take quite a bit to stop. And the techniques and the combinations that you can do with a cooperative partner in training are different when you're trying to do them against someone who's really trying to go after you.
Mark and Eric started fighting after hours at the Inosanto Academy, a martial arts school in Los Angeles, with nothing more than thin fencing masks and leather gloves. The pair also attended martial arts tournaments, searching for like-minded fighters willing to join them.
I met Eric and Mark at a stick fighting week-half tournament in San Jose in 1988. One of the real padded up kind of things.
My term for it was the Michelin tire man. You have all this gear around you with, chest protectors and this and that, because again, they was sort of thinking that, God forbid, you get hit with a stick, that you would feel it, and then you get a bruise, and oh my God, who knows what would happen. Afterwards,
Eric came by and he says, "Have you ever thought about fighting without any gear?" I was like, "Ooh, that sounds like fun."
In May of 1989, the group decided to take their philosophy to the next step. Mark, Arlen, and Eric, along with a few other fighters, met for a 3-day fight fest designed to push each of them to their limit.
Man, you almost had that neck one.
That process of diving that deep into it again and again was very powerful. And that's when we started calling ourselves the Dog Brothers. I was reading a Conan the Barbarian comic book, and he was calling his band into battle, saying, "Come on, you Dog Brothers."
The next year, the Dog Brothers moved the fights to a small park in Hermosa Beach, California.
I was in the park in front of my house. We always made sure to keep people in the neighborhood comfortable. If we saw somebody looking nervous, to say, "Hi, we're just crazy, but we're not dangerous."
These gatherings began to draw large crowds of onlookers who didn't know what to make of the Dog Brothers' raw fighting style.
Everybody first went, like that, and just shock. And then the next instant was like, wow, like that. As soon as the first people, everyone was just like buzzed. The whole place was buzzed. They've seen these wacky stick fighting guys. They're crazy. You gotta check them out.
In 1994, the Dog Brothers released their first martial arts video, spreading their techniques and philosophies far beyond the park.
People hadn't quite seen anything like this, and word of mouth spread, and things just gradually grew.
We started getting calls from like all over the place. It's like a local band that suddenly went national.
Coming up, Corey Davis tests his limits and the dangers of full contact stick fighting.